Chris Hemsworth and Tom Holland's 2015 survival drama In the Heart of the Sea is now trending on Netflix, and its heartbreaking true story provides a good reminder to watch Netflix's own similar film from January 2024. While framed around one of the survivors recounting the tale to Herman Melville, serving as inspiration for his novel Moby Dick, In the Heart of the Sea explores the true story behind the 1820 sinking of the whaling ship Essex. After the ship is wrecked by a sperm whale, 20 crew members resort to drastic measures before being rescued, with the majority dying at sea. After landing on Netflix on January 1, 2025, In the Heart of the Sea has finally received a resurgence in popularity a decade after its premiere. Unfortunately, despite In the Heart of the Sea's stellar cast and director, it was met with mixed reviews in 2015, currently holding a 42% Rotten Tomatoes score. The film was also a box office bomb, earning only $94.3 million against an estimated $100 million budget, via Box Office Mojo. Still, the movie chronicles a gripping and harrowing true story with unimaginable tragedies, not unlike Netflix's own 2024 survival drama Society of the Snow. Netflix's Society of the Snow is another true story-inspired survival drama like In the Heart of the Sea. Both are survival dramas based on real-life tragedies. The real story that inspired In the Heart of the Sea includes tragedies that are reminiscent of the 1972 Andes flight disaster, in which a flight carrying a rugby team crashed and was stranded in the snowy Andes Mountains for over 2 months. The true story of the Andes flight disaster is depicted in Society of the Snow, Netflix's survival drama that debuted on the streamer in January 2024. While In the Heart of the Sea received mixed reviews, Society of the Snow's true story adaptation was met with widespread acclaim, and currently holds a 90% Rotten Tomatoes score. While one disaster occurred at sea and the other was in the mountains, both real-life tragedies led to the survivors battling the elements, fighting to stay alive, searching for rescue, and resorting to unimaginable strategies to find sustenance. In the case of In the Heart of the Sea, the survivors of the shipwreck were split into 3 smaller boats, with many dying due to injury, starvation, and illness. Eventually, they made the difficult decision to resort to cannibalism and eat the dead to stay alive, with one crew member even agreeing to die so the others could eat his body. The real-life chain of events after the initial wreck is generally similar to what happened in Netflix's Society of the Snow. After the plane crashed, Society of the Snow survivors were left with few provisions, no nearby wildlife or vegetation, harsh elements with dangerous cold, and snow blindness. Like In the Heart of the Sea, the number of survivors dwindled gradually, with many deaths being incurred from injury, illness, suffocation, starvation, and freezing temperatures. Eventually, the survivors reluctantly resorted to cannibalizing the dead until they were finally rescued. In both In the Heart of the Sea and Society of the Snow, the length of time that the survivors were stranded was shockingly long. The Essex sank in November 1820 and the first group of survivors weren't rescued until late February 1821, leaving them in brutal conditions for about 3 months. Meanwhile, Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 crashed on October 13, 1972, with the first group of survivors being rescued from the mountain over 2 months later on December 23, 1972. Furthermore, the loss of life was enormous in both real-life disasters. While 20 crew members experienced the Essex sinking, only 8 men survived In the Heart of the Sea's tragedy. Meanwhile, Society of the Snow's flight crashed with 45 people on board, including the passengers and crew, with only 16 people ultimately surviving and making it off the mountain. In both cases, it was a miracle that there were so many survivors left after that many months stranded, a notion that Society of the Snow and In the Heart of the Sea's endings emotionally emphasize. Society of the Snow and In the Heart of the Sea's real tragedies both inspired other popular media. The Essex sinking inspired Moby Dick and the Andes flight disaster inspired stories like Yellow Jackets. Jose looking frozen and terrified in Society of the Snow. Before the true stories were more directly dramatized in Society of the Snow in 2024 and In the Heart of the Sea in 2015, the real-life tragedies had already served as inspirations for other films, TV shows, and novels in the years before. For instance, the Andes flight disaster inspired the 1993 movie Alive and was cited as a loose influence on the 2021 Showtime series Yellow Jackets. Famously, In the Heart of the Sea's sinking of the Essex served as a major inspiration for Herman Melville's 1851 novel Moby Dick, which itself has been adapted several times.